Book of Wisdom. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. For froward thoughts separate from God, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit, and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. For wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue. For the Spirit of the Lord filleth the world, and that which containeth all things hath knowledge of the voice. Chapter 1, verses 1 through 7. I am Joshua James Bolliero, and I am here with Sam Hancock. So, Sam, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, guys. For anybody who's not come across the flat Earth or concave Earth, drama, scenario, deception, psyop. I'll just be blunt and basically say that the world's controlled by Luciferians that operate secret societies that set up the academia system, never mind control it. And there's basically a triple-pronged cosmological mass deception being played out by three major parties. And to pretty much just outline them, you've got the heliocentric globe model, which is the mainstream model, the lie that's pushed on us, the inverted model. And that's pushed through everywhere that's mainstream, the universities, schools, TV, all that sort of stuff. It's all rigged on the heliocentric globe. Now, my mother was a teacher, and they are given in England what's called the national curriculum. They're told what to teach. My mum was deceived. You've then got the Flat Earth Party, which 100 years ago it was the Flat Earth Society, and you had a few proponents that taught Flat Earth. Someone called Samuel Rowbotham was teaching zetetic astronomy and trying to pass off a flat Earth model with astronomy. And nowadays you've got the elite have got a couple of dozen agents online on Facebook and YouTube particularly, running groups that will discuss whether you're on a flat plane or on a globe, plus loads of other trolls waging a flat Earth campaign. You've then got the Concave Earth Party, which you don't hear much about. It's very quiet. 100 years ago, the one guy that was gatekeeping the model by teaching it but discrediting it, but the elite just need to be able to control everything, so they don't want someone else being the lead guy of Concave Earth. So they have like Cyrus Teed there claiming that he was the Messiah, and the elite had arranged a little following for him so that it seemed like he had a genuine cult following. We're being totally played and deceived, but nowadays the one guy that you will find on YouTube with hundreds of hours of material about concave Earth and his personal claims that almost mirror Cyrus Teed's, but they're a little bit more extraordinary and a little bit more fitting with what people and Christians are expecting of the Antichrist, who is to appear on the scene claiming to be God and expecting people to be taking a mark, or if not, they'll be killed for not submitting and taking a mark. That's a lot to digest, so I'm just going to run through that again. Luciferians running the world. We've got Luciferians teaching the globe model all over the world. There's Luciferians in universities, schools, teaching the globe model, the heliocentric model. We've then got Luciferians teaching flat Earth. We've got a team of them promoting flat Earth. They will not publicly acknowledge or expose the concave proofs, like the plumb bob divergence and the fact that the 8-inch per square mile on the water curvature is concave and not convex. These Luciferian flat earthers at the tip top have no model and are gatekeeping the concave earth truth. Now, with the concave psyop, I don't know how serious it is and whether the lead proponent, known as Lord Stephen Christ, is the Antichrist or someone that the elite have got in place that is made to look like the Antichrist, or if the guy off his own back wants to make the world think that he's the Antichrist. But when you twin this with a whole load of other things that we'll go into and expose, I think you'll come to the conclusion that Lord Stephen Christ has got connections and has been helped and being fed information, given scripts to read, CGI models to present. But there's a concave earth following that consists of Lord Stephen Christ, and then you've got Lotus Garden channel, which is a guy called Neilon Harvey. You've got Travis Brab, who's one to watch. You've got a channel called Circuit 333, who's called Rhonda Henderson on Facebook. Would appear to be Lord Stephen Christ's partner at the moment, in whatever respect. The flat Earth, I've just sat and made a 5-minute list from memory of people that I have tried to approach with the concave earth proofs, tried to explain to them I'm an ex-flat earther, I can see what's going on, all the proofs are there for concave, here they are. Here's a short, well, I'll just read out a short list of them in a second, but just before I begin, Joshua, is there anyone that you could call out, and someone who you see as a fake flat earther or a controlled agent, someone that's a shill, a troll, that's a flat earther running a channel?
I suspect a few for sure. I'm gonna wait until I'm more sure before I name anybody in particular, but it seems quite obvious because I'm reaching out to a lot of people, and if all these different sources, whether Facebook accounts or YouTube channels, whatever source I reach out to, if this really was a pool of zetetic, open-minded, loving, caring people, I'd be getting more feedback if these were legitimate people. So it's a monumental red flag that people don't want to contact me about this issue, because if they were in my shoes, they would understand. Kind of like how flat earthers felt at first when they were first coming off the spinning ball, how we all felt. We all went through that, right? Well, it's happening again, And now it's like the flat earthers are the globalists. And all they want to tell you is, oh, we don't live on a spinning ball. And I'm like, I know. Come on, you know?
Right, well, I just want to read out a list. I'll start off I'm going to list a few that I can tell are agents. Then I'll list a few and give you a bit of reasons why I'm naming them. But here's a list of just a few, because there's plenty more that I see as, well, they're either completely dumb or under some mind control, or they're agents, they're part of the elite or whatever.
I missed it for a couple of years too, so I'm guilty. You know, I can understand how.
So here we go anyway.
I went through that too. There was a while I was like, yeah, concave. I don't know. It just seems like another ball earth psyop. I'm going to ignore that for now. And I did ignore it for a little while. So I'm guilty of exactly the same thing that I'm accusing other flat earthers of being guilty of. But the difference is there was no one reaching out to me, like specifically regarding me. Like no one specifically reached out to me and said, here, look at this, 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 look at this. And I was just like, no. That didn't happen to me. And that's what's happening. It's, overlooking a couple of YouTube videos about concave, because, whatever. That's what I did. I saw it and I just never clicked on it. Had I clicked on it, I might have been like, oh, holy shit, But I just never clicked on it. That's a little different.
Right.
I'm sending emails, I'm sending messages in Facebook or comment sections, or even in the live streams, I'm typing in all kinds of information, leaving I leave my phone number everywhere. I make myself incredibly available to reach, and it's crickets. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe you can tell me more about what's up with that, because where I'm at right now, it sounds like you were there maybe a couple of years ago. So
yeah, all I can say to that is that this thing's it's very hard, and people have been steered away from concave and trapped into flat on subconscious levels in herd mentalities in ways that they can't comprehend properly. Some of the people you're trying to reach are genuine, and they're scared and they won't look at it, and they're convinced it's flat, and they can't comprehend it being concave, like a globe head can't comprehend it being anything but what we've been taught. And then some of them are just going to avoid you because they're fake. Now, it depends how high up in this thing they are. If they're the high up ones with the channels, they've probably known a good few years it's concave, but they're being paid to gatekeep it. So what I'm saying is that, like I tried to point out, that you've got Luciferians teaching heliocentric globe on the largest scale worldwide. Universities, stuff like that. Luciferians teaching globe, why? They outnumber anyone else. They outnumber anyone else. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Luciferians, if you're going to associate them with it's the globe lie, because there's more of them teaching that lie, right? Then we've got more Luciferian flat earthers. Don't get me wrong. At heart, we're all concave earthers, but teaching this lie, you've then got more flat earthers doing it. But you see, because they've hid it in a Christian cult with a dome and all this nonsense, they can't see past that.
And even some flat earth proponents, they're starting to leave clues. They're starting to, say certain things or read from, I'm getting signs of a response, but either they're holding back because they can't speak the full truth, or they're holding back because they don't yet have it. And that's fair. If you're not there yet, that's cool. So hey, no hate,
That's exactly what I've been saying.
That's cool.
At this point now,
it's getting to the point where people are just outright ignoring it, and that's not science.
Are you dumb or you a troll? Are you dumb or you a troll? Are you dumb or you a troll? Like you say, are they intentionally avoiding it?
Yeah.
Or are they avoiding it because they're ignorant and not appreciating it and can't wrap their head around plumb bob diagrams in the 8 inches of square mile being concave, and they just can't get it and accept it. But let me just whiz through this list of flat Earth proponents who I'd say are like agents, so in whatever sense they're Luciferians. So you got Rob Skiba with his fake flat Earth golden firmament dome that don't work. Patricia Steers used to go out with a Satanist. There's loads you could find on her. Eric DeBay, CIA agent, being busted, being paid. Loads to find on him. One of the main ones, the views. Mark Sargent. Daz Nez pushing 4D and crazy models. Jaron Campanella, Jaronism. Nathan Roberts. He's one to watch. He's doing well for the bad team. His channel's Your Curveless Earth. Your Curveless Earth, Nathan Roberts.
He also wrote a book called The Doctrine of the Shape of the Earth, I believe.
Yeah, he's dumb or a troll. I'll just say that. Right. Neil Burton.
Nice guy. He's a very friendly guy. I'll just say that.
He might be. Robbie Davidson, Celebrate Truth. Russian Vids. Flat Earth Arsehole. D Marble. Nathan Oakley. Mr. Thrive and Survive. Fucket Word. Orphan Red. I've got her doing all sorts. Baphomet and Sphinx signs and stuff. Dell, Beyond the Imaginary Curves, got a tattoo of Morlock Owl from Bohemian Club on his arm. Martin Ledke, the map dude. Brian Lambert, 33. Dean Oddle, Zen Garcia. Jason Richard Mangan. Right. A few of us will just spit the names out, watch them. Joey Rocha on Facebook. Paul Michael Bales. At this point, all these people have been given the information, you know, like flat earthers are going concave, we're showing you why, we're showing you proof, we're showing you you've got no flat earth model, you were halfway there, and we're pointing all this psyop stuff out to you. So come on, are you a part of it or not? And it's like, are they dumb or a part of it or what? That's like all I've got to say right now.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go through. This is what's going on, people. Anyone from whatever angle they might in life think to themselves, I'm not happy with the model I've been presented, or I don't live on a spinning ball. So in case anyone's head veers off, they've got controlled opposition, they've got stuff in place, and the aim is to outnumber it with flat earth and discredit the concave one as crazy and keep you away. Now, what happens is we tend to learn in this order. So the 4 things that flat earthers and concave earthers agree on are basically the 4 things you'll learn first. What if you don't know the rest of it, could keep you thinking that Earth's flat, especially if you're not appreciating that there's 2 hemispheres. So you've got, there's no convex curve. The flat earthers know that, yeah. And concavers agree. Right. Luminaries are close. The flat earthers know that. And concavers agree. There's a solid barrier up there. The flat earthers know that. And concavers agree. It's stationary. Earth's stationary. The flat earthers know that. And concavers agree. Thing is, right, the flat earthers haven't got a clue about stars or astronomy. They haven't got a model at all. You're on the inside or the outside of a globe, flat earthers. Make your mind up. There's no flat model. Your big dome and all your Polaris nonsense and all this crap, none of it makes sense.
It's a personal dome. It's a small perspective dome, like Jaron was telling you.
The things that you then go on to learn about is if you can deal with the gatekeeper and if you just persist and you look and you open your mind to concave, etc., you'll find out that light and water both bend. Not under extreme circumstances, or they just do. Right. the curvature of the water surfaces is concave to the measurement exactly that it's necessary for the concave Earth, and it's the exact opposite of what it should be for a convex. You know, so the 8 inches per square mile is there. It's there. That's what is measured on the water. The concave curve of the water surfaces are 8 inches per square mile. We've straight up been given an inverted model, and the flat Earth things are set up to keep you away. Right? You've then got plumb bob experiments being kept from us. The divergence of it proves concave Earth. If we were on a globe, it'd converge. That's massive. Right? Concave Earthers have a clue about Atlas and Zodiac, the celestial sphere, the stars, star rotation. You then come on to learn about what they're hiding. They've got CMOR imagery, Canadian Meteor Orbital Radar imagery, of some sort of octahedron shape that's flinging out stuff, that's a pattern that's up there. I can't verify whether that's real or not, but it's being fed out along with the rest of it. Over to you, bro.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on the whole gravity thing. One argument I keep hearing is that if we live on the inside of a ball, then I must believe in gravity. And one thing I'd like to say about that is gravity is the heliocentric version for why things stick to the outside of a ball, meaning that gravity pulls everything to the center. Okay, so if we live out against the inside of the sphere, right, then obviously it's not gravity, because this is an outward force, right? We're being pulled outward. So obviously gravity would not be the explanation for concave Earth. So I just want to make that distinction, that just because we're talking about a spherical Earth doesn't mean we're talking about gravity. Gravity is a bogus explanation for the real. It's a bogus title. It's a term. That's all it is. It's a word. It's just gravity. That gravity was just a word that they used back before they had electricity and they really knew what these forces were. Now we understand magnetism. We understand electromagnetism and static electricity. Folks understand it way more than I do, but I still understand it. You know, things like acoustic resonance and sonoluminescence and all, you know, the plasma and the two different, the dipole effect, and, you know, in the way you can take magnets and play around with magnets yourself. You know, I got a little magnetic dish, and you can take, you know, Allen wrenches, and you can put a little North Pole in there. You can play around with magnetism and feel what magnetism does. And so, and of course, air pressure. So with all of these forces coming in to play in coagulation with each other, you've got multiple forces working with each other that always have existed, but back then they just used that term gravity to explain all of these different forces that are working together to present us with the real world that we have living inside the earth, which is scriptural. We live in the earth, and the sun is inside the firmament, not below. Okay, so I think another false premise is that we have this omnidirectional light source, this light orb that shoots light out omnidirectionally, and this light orb just that's how flat Earth is. And there's no explanation for the altitude. The balloon footage shows this light source right there in the sky. But for the model to work, the sun has to have a much higher altitude to give you sunlight on both the east coast of the United States and the west coast. It just doesn't work if the sun is 60 miles up in the air. For the sun to be right up in my sky, right there in my own sky, there's the sun. We have photos of it. Every flat earther knows the sun is damn close. You look at the clouds, right? It's right there above the clouds. So how is it in California also right there above their clouds? How is there sun above their clouds and sun above my clouds? The only possible way is that the light source is coming from the exact center, like Neil told you, the exact center, and the people over here are lights coming to the whole half of the inside of the sphere, and these people get sunlight in their own sky, and then these people get sunlight in their own sky, and these people get sunlight in their own sky, because the firmament is only 62 miles up in the air at the Kármán line, where the ionosphere is, you know, Operation Fishbowl, where they blast shit, whether nukes are real or not, they were exploding shit against the sky. Whatever they were blowing up there exploded sideways and outward. The same way an explosion happens on the ground, sideways and outward, against the surface that it's exploding against. So on the ground, it explodes against the ground. But up in the air, it explodes against what? The vacuum of outer space? No. There's a barrier there. And that's why everyone gets the sun in their own sky. So it's the sun cannot be explained on the flat Earth model. The sun on the flat Earth model is not biblical. It's close, but it's not biblical. And it seems quite obvious to me that the flat Earth community wants to reject these sun path arguments. They want to reject the close firmament argument because it destroys the flat Earth model. Also, that 2014 Go Fast rocket did not go 73 miles up. And I believe the reason why they claimed it went 73 miles up was to hide the fact that there's a firmament at 62 miles. So that rocket clearly didn't go 73 miles up in the air. So it seems pretty obvious to me. Also, the eclipses can't be explained on the flat Earth. I've never been to the south, so I can't confirm any ice ring. There's no reason to believe in an ice ring if I've never traversed it myself. No one else seems to have traversed this stuffed crust. No one's just completed the walk around the whole pizza. If that was real, it could be done. I know people have sailed around it, but those are other people. I never sailed around Antarctica, and you know, Ross and Clark and those, whatever, however many miles they logged. What was it, 50 or 60,000 miles? It should have been 12 or whatever it was. I've got no proof of any of that myself. So there seems to be some huge gaping holes in the flat Earth that people just seem adamant about ignoring. All I hear is, there's no, show me the curvature, show me the curvature, show me the curvature. And it sounds to me exactly like the heliocentrists saying, show me the edge, show me the edge, show me the edge. So as a flat earther, we understand all the ridicule we get from the heliocentrists. And I just want to make it blatantly obvious to the entire flat earth community that you're doing the same exact heliocentric foolishness to the concave earthers, because we have valid evidence to present. And all I get in response is, oh, we don't live on a spinning ball. Yeah, I know. I'm with you. Yeah, we're created. Yeah, we didn't land on the moon. Yeah, I know. 9/11 is bullshit. Yeah. I got that. I'm a little further ahead than that. So I'm speaking to the genuine people that feel like they're correcting me, like I'm ignorant and I don't know anything. And to the rest of you lying pricks, it's not going to last very long, this whole flat earth thing. It's going to crumble in like a house of cards really fast, because now you've put yourself in between the huge beast of heliocentricity and the truth. And now you're stuck in the middle on a very uncomfortable fence. Yeah. So if you can't just set your eyeballs on a spirit level and see that contained water with air pressure is concave, and that at a larger scale, say, I don't know, 8,000 mile diameter, you're not going to be able to see that curvature very much from the beach. Although you can, because now we have zoom cameras that show that there's boats levitating in the air. So for all you free energy people that wanted your Back to the Future hoverboards, well, you got them. All you got to do is take a boat and go out on the ocean and have a guy on the beach filming, and sure enough, you'll be floating, hovering over the water, because the water's flat, right? So those boats are just hovering in the air. Give me a break.
What's funny is they've got no model that works.
I've done the experiment on a table. When you zoom across the table, Okay, the object that you slide across isn't, you don't see it up in the air. On a flat plane, that bottom of the object is going to stay. It's at my flat pool channel. It's called the Flat Earth Experiment. You know, I did 1, 2, and 3. 1 was with the tables. 2 and 3 was at the beach. They were just perspective experiments when I still believed that the Earth was flat. As a flat earther, I did these experiments. Then, after coming across concave, I reviewed those flat Earth experiments. So I tested it on a flat plane in an office, right? And then I tested it at the beach. But what I noticed at the beach when I reviewed the footage, I went back and reviewed all my footage at my flat pool channel. I couldn't find any piece of footage where I was able to zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, and have my horizon stay on center. On a flat plane, if everything is the same, as above, so below, and it's all perspective, because on the flat plane it has to all be perspective, because it's the same as above, so below, right? So like this, eventually I should be able to tweak in my camera, you know, the angle of it. I should be able to get it dead center, and I should be able to zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, and my horizon should stay on center. Now, every CNC machinist in the world knows that when you put a tool in a machine, you've got to center that tool. You've got to make sure it's centered on, well, depending what machine you're in, the X and the Y axis, or, you know, if you're doing lathes or milling, whatever, you guys get the point. But you've got to center your tools so that they stay on center. It's the same thing. It should be the same thing on a plane with perspective. You should be able to find center and keep your center if everything's truly going like this. But that's not what we find. I find water's going like this. Water's going like this because I have to, when I zoom out, I've got to recenter. And then I zoom back in and I've got to recenter. And I zoom back out and I got to recenter it. I zoom back in, I got to recenter it. Eventually, that should stop. Eventually, I should find center and it should remain. But that's not what's happening. I'm zooming into water and then I zoom back out. I zoom into water and then I zoom back out. If I don't adjust, I'm just going to keep zooming into water. So I zoom into water and then I got to raise it to get my center again. Then I zoom back out. Now I'm high, so I got to lower it to find center. And then I zoom back out. I zoom back out into water again. And it's just an endless cycle, which should not exist on a flat plane.
Yeah. Two things that I'll mention for people to just go check out is that the aeroplanes. So I've got a video. It's about Concorde. You know, Concorde's in the title. That'll help you find the video. The aeroplanes are flying with a minimum incline, like pointing upwards, of 2.5 degrees. And if they have to go faster, then they have to increase that a little bit. And that's because they're working the way upwards, curving around this on a constant, like this celestial sphere that's above. And one of the things that helped me to like even accept concave Earth, you know, after all this programming we've had of the curve going the other way, etc. I used to struggle with, how does concave work? How does the sun swoop down and swoop back up and around? Well, I've got a playlist on my channel called Green Arc. There's loads of videos out there of this green flash that appears. It's something that the ancient Egyptians were depicting under Horus's eye. There's something that you'll be able to find, a piece of artwork that's like symbolism for concave Earth, and it's like a winged scarab beetle made out of like the yellow sky crystal or whatever. It's got a green arc that's concave under it, and then the eye of Horus, and then it's got a circle under it. This whole thing's 2D, so the circle at the top's like representing a ball, which has got 3 gods in it, and 3 Egyptian gods in this ball at the top of it as well. But like, I've put together a playlist of where the sun looks to be going down, and we're programmed, and most people think there's a ball going down behind another ball there. Well, the sun's not an orb, it's not a ball. Every point on the Earth's just seeing like a stream of light, basically. And at the moment that the sun hits the horizon on the ocean, when people film it on the over the ocean on the horizon, if they zoom in, you can see the bottom of the sun and it goes back up and it creates this little green arc that looks like aurora. So you've got that proof there. You've got the plumb bob divergence point. It's actually, you could do a plumb bob divergence experiment. It would point to exactly the center of the Earth, the center of the concave Earth, the center of whatever's inside behind the stars. Two lines you've got. If you carry them on, if you hadn't, as a civilization, for example, been able to make it to the South Pole, you hadn't been able to check how big Earth was, you'd actually be able to find out through the plumb bob experiment results. That's how scientific and important and big the plumb bob experiment is. It's your one proof of spatial relativity, where, like, gravity, like, if you want to talk about like there being a central point of gravity, it would be the central point of the creation at the top above us, not below us. Like, we've truly been given an inverted model. So a lot of, like, not just astronomy, but a lot of the physics that comes with it is actually inverted. Like, some people will tell you that the north's actually the south and stuff like that. And so all the proofs there, guys, are concave Earth, and that's the thing that the elite are gatekeeping, and it would point towards God being at the center of creation, which is what, like, scriptures point to as well. So this thing's a bit of a revelation. It's massive. We've been so blinded and so deceived. People looking for it with intelligence and passion have not been able to see it. It's been very hard. But all the evidence is there. You've got what they've hidden from what the ancients knew. They've hidden it. They just mentioned flat earth models and laughed them off. To put it blunt, flat earthers, it's easier to tell the world you're on a spinning globe, or you're on a globe and stars are on outside, than it ever would to be persuading people that they live on a flat earth model, because there isn't one. The inverted model, whether it's geocentric or heliocentric, the globe models, the inverted models, they pass for astronomy, they pass for mapping, they pass for flights. The only thing you've got to invert is the curve itself, and then the distances of the heavens, let's say. So my panic, I mean, I run a group against secret societies. I'm a truther. I'm wanting to change the game. Well, flat Earth's a trap, and it's to keep people away from concave. It's to stop the mainstream world from waking up to this mass deception. So if you're in it for the truth, if you want to help, check out concave. Just check it out and join and help wake the world to this. Over to you, bro.
Cool. So we didn't really discuss any possible topics other than the things that we really wanted to get off our chest to the community, to the flat Earth community. Do you have any particular topics that you want to touch on, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, if I were to continue, it would be basically to say, I hope that everybody's listening starts to really believe what I've just said, and then pay attention and think about the implications. What these three parties are doing, your mainstream, your flat earth, the concave. On internet, you've got far much more flat earth followers, flat earth channels. It's their objective. They're being told by the elite, to remove anyone's concave proof comments, not allow them, block that person. It's being gate kept. They're going to keep a lid on the concave. They're going to allow the flat Earth to just be. Oh, there's all these flat earthers that think that there can be an astronomy model that fits the stars. And they're nuts. And it's no offense, because once you know that there's no curve there, and Earth's stationary, yeah. You're like sodgy stars. The
Yep.
stars could be doing but Earth's flat, but no, it's not flat. The curve
balloon footage. Yeah. You see some P900 footage over water, and you see some high altitude balloon footage. You see some fake NASA stuff, and bang, done deal. It's flat. And I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, I learned flat Earth over the weekend." Like, really? I waited 7 months before I said I knew I was flat, and I was wrong. You learned it over the weekend? How? I'm sorry. How well did you seek if you were convinced over one weekend? I searched 7 months, and then I thought I knew, and I was wrong. So you guys really need to set those dominoes all back up. Go back to the beginning, because there's new things that are coming into play that ruin the flight rod arguments, like the air compressed engines. Possibly, we got those planes are not full of gas in the wings. I'm sorry, people. They're flying way too slow. They're way too heavy. There's
geometry. Don't worry about physics of what planes are doing. It's irrelevant. Planes could not exist. It's about plumb bob divergence.
The flight rod arguments are kind of suspect right now at this
point. Plumb bob divergence will either point to a globe or a flat Earth or a concave, and it points to concave. Now the water surfaces, they're pointing to concave. Now astronomy, it could work, and then they'd be on the outside and they're miles away. And all
I'd like to talk about all the laser experiments that all the flat Earth
concave, and it's like those three proofs are just trumping all else. The flat Earth have no model; they're just squashing out.
What I want to ask you in particular, what you think about all these flat Earth laser experiments and the possible validity that they have, going through.
Okay, I will say this.
Air over water. How accurate are these optical experiments of lasers?
I will say this.
I've watched time lapse of just a body of water over a lake. I'd like to thank Rob Skiba actually for doing a great job presenting. When he went to Chicago and did the whole boat thing. Thank you. I really appreciate all the work you did. But one thing I want to expand upon that is something else that he included in his videos was he included a time lapse of just mountains behind a body of water, or hills, or whatever. It's just like a town or whatever around this lake or whatever. And you just let the time lapse play, and over the whole day, you can see everything changes. The horizon changes, the amount of stuff that's hidden underwater beyond the lake, all that changes and rises and lowers just throughout the course of one day. So I really want to ask people, if we're seeing that much atmos distortion from just one day in one location, then how accurate really are these laser experiments?
Well,
I want to ask, in particular, I'll ask you first, Sam. I'd like you to touch on that. What do you think about that?
I'll agree with you. Like, there's an issue, depending on the atmospheric changes, the results might change a little bit. But what I just say, I mean, you could dispute it or disregard it, but what I've acknowledged is a result of concavity on the water, even though the laser is bending with concavity. That's what I'd say. Now, I'm just a truther that went from globe to flat, but because I'm on a mission for truth, the concave's the truth. So that's we're open to it. I'm open to it being wrong. Come on, present me a flat Earth model. Just do it.
Yeah.
What you can.
These lasers, as they go through water or as they go through the air, the light is going to be pulled toward the denser medium, which obviously is the water. So if water is affecting the straightness of the laser,
half of the people on this list here that are dumb or trolls, are being idolised. Rob Skiba, Patricia Steer, Eric DeBay, Mark Sargent, Daz Nez, Dia Marble, Nathan Oakley, thousands of subscribers, loads of followers. They do more trolls. There's Luciferians. They're wasting your time. They're gatekeeping Concave Earth. Man, go eat some popcorn and entertain yourself. But if you want to help, come to Concave, explain to everyone exactly what I just told you about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. This is serious. This is like, man, I've got no else to say. I've got nothing else to say. Change this game, people. Wake up. Wake up. Okay? Wake up. There's no flat earth model. There's no flat earth model, fam. None. You haven't got one. If one of you can, post it to my wall. I'll allow all comments through. See if one on my Facebook or on my YouTube, see if anyone can present any flat earth model that works. They can't. There is none. It's a psyop, gatekeeping Concave. It's a big deal. Tell everyone. And if you can't accept it, mention it to people. Please. Do me a favour, please. And get in touch with me. I'll do you any favour you want.
Or make a response video.
The Earth's concave. You've got Luciferians teaching every model, so I ain't picking on any of them. There's a load of scumbags and liars. They're called the elite. And they have their kids, and their little mafia kids, the little sick little kids, and the paid little agents, and CIA, and all this crap. And this is a war. I'm at war with them. We're at war. This is the war. Do you want to just keep pushing the wheel of destruction for them? Or do you want to let go and start telling people about concave Earth and all the gatekeeper behind it that's been going on? And the fact that simply they've given us an inverted model of the Earth and universe for 500 years. And the ancients knew about concave Earth because they had Atlas holding up Zodiac and they had Horus's eye with the green arc under it. I've got all the science there. I'm not just like, I like God and scripture. I was thinking about Big Bang and time dilation and black holes and all this stuff when I was like 8, reading what's it called? That Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. I've been paying attention to astrophysics all my life, and I was deceived. It's an inverted bullcrap model. There's no flat Earth model that works or can explain none of it at all. That's like, we're just wasting your time. They're all this. If they've been in on it on years and they've got big channels and they're doing that, they're agents or the children of the elite or whatever. They've got invest in flat Earth psyop and keeping you away from concave Earth, and they're not going to accept it. And you need to tell all your waking up to flat Earth friends, it's concave and this is the crack. You've just been told it all. So, come on, man. Come on. Right, what are you saying, Josh?
What was I saying? Yeah, make a response video. Get back to me. Most of you have my number. It's easily available. There's 2 YouTube channels. There's one from when I was a flat earther and one from when I repented. There's lives at stake here. There's souls at stake. And I know it's going to be hard for some of you guys to have the humility to be globe heads again after making fun of globe heads for so long. But the earth is an orange and you have more red pills to swallow. And, it's going to be obvious real soon who is just in it for the money or the popularity or for whatever reason you want to cling on. There's probably all kinds of different reasons, but for whatever reason you want to cling on to flat earth, I just want to let you know the time's running out and you're not doing yourself any favors. Why not, if you've been a flat earther now for a year or more, why not just take one day or just 2 days, right? Remember when we were telling this to globe heads, to heliocentric people, when we were flat earthers, remember when we were saying, just take one day and watch some flat earth videos. We got this 200 proofs one and funny thing happened on the way to the moon. Yeah, just watch those and get back to me. Remember when we were doing that? Well, this is me as a concave earther doing it to you, the flat earther, saying, hey, take 1 day or 2 days and just watch some concave evidence. We have playlists. We can explain the gravity on the ball, right? And we can explain just about everything that flat earth can't explain. So if you want to stop beating your head over the freaking wall trying to figure out all these things. And if you're tired of ignoring the concavers posing as heliocentrists, you know, so a lot of you flat earthers are just arguing with concavers. You just don't know it. So if you're tired of losing those arguments or having to ignore arguments because this appearingly heliocentric person just kind of stumps you and you don't have an answer, and your only answer is show me the curve, it's flat, NASA lies. If that's your only answer, then you suck. That's not science. You got to come up with some better answers than it's flat. We don't live on a spinning ball. Sorry, I know we don't live on a spinning ball, and no, it's not flat. You got to keep seeking. And if you're not going to keep seeking, if you're just going to reject knowledge, that's up to you, you know. But I'm not going to do that, and I'm certainly not going to shut up because I certainly don't care what any of you think because you're all wrong. And I got the evidence in my hands, and I'm screaming it from the rooftops. You're all wrong. It's not any more complicated than that.
Yeah, there's too many flat earthers running around saying water's flat, water's flat, water's flat. It's flat and stationary. It's flat and stationary. Oh, I can't tell which ones are genuine and which ones are trolls. That's your kind of troll line. You've been
4,000-mile radius, people. A lake is going to look flat. You know, if you've got a lake, yes, one side of the lake's going to be the same altitude as the other side of the lake, right?
Yeah.
So the dip is going to be in the middle. You're not going to notice if you've got a lake that's a mile wide or something, right? I'm looking at flat water. No, you're looking at water that has got a dip in the middle of about an inch or two, or 4, or whatever, a few inches. You're not going to notice a half a foot dip in the middle of the lake. You're not going to notice that concavity to the lake. If you know. So wake up, people. There's a little bit of a dip in the middle of that lake, just like on a much smaller scale, there's a dip in that spirit level, right? It's so simple, it'll go right over their heads.
So now I just want to basically, it needs saying basically, like the way in which I've learned about concave is definitely half or more than half is owed towards what I've learned through this Lord Stephen Christ, Stephen Joseph Christopher. Most of what I've learned through him, or most of what I've like re-uploaded or mirrored, it's called, to my channel has come from his. I don't know everything, but to just explain to people that are not aware of any of this, to anyone that's interested, and you know, I can just point a few things out to you. It might save you a bit of time, and you know, you can come to the awareness a little bit quicker. But so he has a seal that he wants everyone to have a tattoo of, that he calls the mark of the beast, which is like something that's supposed to come near the end of time in the Bible. Basically, it's a prophecy written in the end of the Bible. He's saying that everybody's gonna accept him and take his mark or be killed. So he's got videos about all this, explaining all this, and got videos featuring the guillotines and talking about different FEMA camps and deep underground military bases. The number of people that have messaged me saying, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about LSC? Lord Stephen Stephen Joseph Christopher. I am basically forced to say something on the lines of like, is he an antichrist or the antichrist? Which is again this character from the Bible that gives this mark that he's claiming to be giving people, and that's obviously why someone would come to that conclusion naturally. So to summarize, my point basically is that the gatekeeper of concave earth truth that's actually feeding out the knowledge that's teaching a lot of us, it's getting us there, like leading us to it.
The light bringer?
Well, it seems, I mean, he could be genuine and telling the truth. I don't know, but it would seem that he's either, well, these are to me like the two sort of options. What are there? Like he's like part of the elite, and he's one of them, and they're using him for a little internet psyop to gatekeep the truth.
The light bringer is Lucifer.
Or he's like, it's more than that, and it's deeper than that, and he's like Hitler 2.0. He's like not just by the elite gonna get where it's heading, but it's on a spiritual way. I don't really know how to explain what I'm saying, but if I just basically say it would appear to be the Antichrist, but maybe it's just a psyop to make.
Even now, there are many antichrists. So I don't necessarily know that the antichrist is a human person. The way
Okay,
I understand the scriptures currently, the antichrist is something that rises up, something that's not human. That's my current understanding. So
there is one other guy in Australia called Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall that claims to be God, Jesus too. You know, he claims to be Yahweh.
yeah, I watched the video that he had. He actually believes he seems like a really nice guy, and
He does, but
he's all
again,
about
like,
love, and he's a really nice
not
looking.
God. He's not God, and unless you met him,
Right, yeah.
this is a
There's
miracle.
going to be many people that claim that they're Jesus Christ. We already know that, you know.
God, but he's not gatekeeping anything. Like obviously, that's big. He's not representing himself to be like not just God, but the Antichrist as well. For example, Lord Stephen Christ made a video where he says, quote, I am Satan, end quote. And then he says, quote, but I am Jesus too, end quote. That it's a paradox and all this stuff. So,
That's the non-science part of this video. Is near the end here. We wanted to address the science, but there's a much more that once you come across this concave information and you realize that it completely destroys the other two models, you're starting to realize other things about this man who's showing you all this information. And after a few months of that, I have some serious questions about Stephen Christopher. And I show the guy nothing but love, and he wants to ignore and reject me. And I think that's a huge red flag. So I have serious questions about who this guy is or who this guy isn't. And he does not appear to carry himself in the manner that the Jesus of the Bible would carry himself. That being said, I'm still new to concave earth, and I'm still new to I'm still kind of new to this scene, but I've been watching it intently, and I'm starting to see who's who, and I I really think other people ought to start paying attention like I am. I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, it's either with your own development, you having your own insight and coming to an awareness, like you come to and adopt a concept, a notion. It changes you. You move up in your awareness of it. You're on to the next level. So you can do that yourself, or you can easily just listen to other people explain it to you. So, I mean, there'll be people listening to this that kind of know of most of it, but they don't agree with the other bit, and then they reject it. And there'll be plenty of people that hear this that'll be like, "Wow, you've just pointed out loads to me, like Eureka, wow, wow, thanks for giving me them dots and connecting them like that, and cheers." But that's like what needs to be happening. Like, find that way to get it through to someone. This is the proof of concave Earth. So it's like your celestial sphericity, your water surface concavity, and your plumb bob divergence. Those three should do it. But there's plenty of other stuff as well.
There's money in the world to get another honest rectilinear experiment where we can actually get in the water and measure it instead of having to settle for optical experiments that we know are inconclusive. Although all my P900 footage is kind of conclusive that I can't center my horizon, but that's not a tangible proof. It's still a visual one. And with the Atmos being the way it is, I can debunk my own concave argument optically. I can take my P900 and go explain it through the heliocentric model, explain it through the flat Earth model, and explain it through the concave model. I could argue for any one of them.
Yeah, but
the actual proof lies in the shape of the water itself. So
you'd have been lying in your interpretation of two of them, and only with your concave Earth interpretation would you have been correctly interpreting.
Right, because that's the only model where everything works. Remember that checklist when you went and you put NASA's little CGI blue marble there, and then you put your flat Earth pizza dome over here on this side, and you went through the checklist and you crossed a red X for everything on the heliocentric model that didn't work, and all the green check marks for everything that worked on flat Earth. Right. Well, that list was a short list. If you do a complete list, there's going to be a lot of things that don't work on flat Earth. And so when you have a complete list and you compare all three models, and you have one for heliocentricity, one for flat Earth, and one for concave Earth, okay, because there's not just two choices. When you include all three choices,
concave ticks all the boxes.
You include all three choices and you make your list longer, you're going to come across very little that works on heliocentricity. You're going to come across a lot that works on flat Earth, but the only thing where everything works is concave.
Yeah, and for 500 years, our ancestors, most of us, have been tricked by this inverted model, and we've busted it open. Like I've done a lot of work recently, just managing to get to concave from flat, but that wouldn't have happened if it weren't for loads of people. But loads of us truthers have cracked it and sussed it over the last, since NASA messed up and internet came out. Like, yeah, but everyone needs to accept it straight away, believe it. Like, this is the way it is.
I think NASA's part of the science. I think NASA's been feeding flat Earth.
Double check. Like, look into the plumb bob divergence and understand it. Understand what it's showing. Understand what it's showing. Understand what it should be doing. What its result means.
It should be parallel like this if it's a stationary plane. It should go out like this if it's a convex heliocentric globe. But it's like this, which means the Earth is concave because it points to the center of the Earth, which is up in the sky, is the center of the Earth, where God is. So not only is flat Earth hiding the firmament, but people want to say, oh, The spinning heliocentric deception hides God and flat earth proves a creator. Okay, we'll give you that. Flat earth proves a creator. Okay, flat earth is hiding God's location. Flat earth is hiding God. Do you understand this, people? Flat earth is hiding God too.
In the Gospel of Philip, it says that the Most High, like God, the Most High, it's best to refer to him as the innermost. It's very clear that he's at the center. And then it talks about the spheres of heaven in quite a few scriptures, like Bartholomew and stuff. The Apocrypha, there's only like a couple of things they're trying to hide when they're hiding the Apocrypha by the looks of it. Yep. I'm not gonna go much more into the Bible because I don't want to offend anyone on their beliefs, but they all should open your mind and not think that the KJV is like inerrant and that's all you need and it's perfect. But I would say that the KJV Bible is better to read than like anything worse, like a newer Bible, a different newer Bible, or some fiction. Like, yeah, King James Bible's like good, but it's not perfect, and well, that's all I'll say.
The King James Bible is another stepping stone like flat earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even the King James Bible, all these other Bibles, they hide, they don't have the Book of Wisdom in there. And that's what I read at the beginning of this video was the Book of Wisdom, chapter 1, verses 1 through 7. And not only in Proverbs chapter 1 does it tell you that wisdom is feminine, but also the Book of Wisdom touches on that too at the very beginning. And it shows that this Holy Spirit is feminine. That's what it's showing. And the King James won't really come out and say that. You've got the Father, you've got the Son, and you've got the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, the Ruach HaKodesh, right? The Spirit. Well, that Spirit, according to the scriptures, is feminine. Now, that could make a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people that even aren't, biblical cosmologists. They're just cosmologists. But adding that feminine aspect to creation and to reality, that brings a whole nother, that should make those, Mother Earth or Mother Nature, it should make those that hamster start spinning and say, okay, even the Bible talks about a feminine aspect to this spirit, the spirit of wisdom. And knowledge and wisdom is where it's at, not with belief. Beliefs got us nowhere. It's the knowledge and wisdom that's going to get you somewhere. And so by understanding that the word of God is not a written word. The word of God is a spoken word because it's with sound. This is what Tesla said was energy, frequency, and vibration, right? If you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's all resonance. That's all sound, okay? So in John 1:1, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So in the beginning, the Word was God. Well, how can that be if God's Word is on ink and paper? If you read Genesis chapter 1, you'll notice no books had existed in the creation story. There aren't any books. He created light to separate it from darkness. He created the water to set in one place, and then he created the dry land, and then he created the sun and the moon, and he created the animals, and then he created Adam and breathed life into it. At that point, the earth and creatures and vegetation and the fish of the sea and the fowls of the air, all that stuff existed, and we still didn't have any books. So my message is that not to ignore scripture, because I seriously want people to start looking at scripture. The point is that one of the biggest deceptions in the world is that thinking that the word of God is something you can read with your eyes, and it's not. Scripture says, listen, he that hath an ear, let him hear. The word of God is an audible word. It's sound. The word of God from the center of the universe because it's kind of blasphemous to think geocentricity. That's really blasphemous. That's exactly what Nimrod did, setting himself at the throne of God. In reality, in the concave earth, God is at the center of the universe. It's a theocentric universe. God's at the center. So what does flat earth do? Flat earth says, no, we're geocentric. We're the center. Oh, wow, we feel so special. We're the center. Wait a minute. What if you just dethrone God by saying you're the center of the universe? So I just want to, maybe run that by anybody who's got any critical thinking skills. It's kind of blasphemous to say you're the center of the universe if in reality the scriptures tell you that he's the center of the universe and he always was and he always will be. And if you're just going to ignore that scriptural evidence, for you biblical cosmologists out there, I'm ready, and you can make a response video.
Well, I'll just add that I believe that Jesus is the only Son of God. I'm a Christian, and I went for flat Earth before I came to Concave. I don't know what else to say. Why should it be any different for anyone else? Look, flat earthers, there is a psyop going on, and there's Luciferians representing all models, and there's an erroneous flat dome model like what Rob Skiba presents, but it doesn't work. And he's a shill or something, whatever he is, I don't know. There's no flat model that works. I'm a truther and I'm a Christian, and it took me a while messing about with flat to get to concave, to see past all this gatekeeper and just understand the science and be able to perceive it all and accept it. And well, I feel like God's got me try to expose this flat earth Luciferian psyop that keeps you away from the Luciferian lie of the globe. But yeah, it's totally being gatekept by, well, lo and behold, well, they're just everywhere and they control everything. They run the world, and this is big, and they want to keep everyone away from it. So you've got flat earther Luciferians that are not going to let go of the flat earth thing. That's the massive thing that I've come on the internet to try to get someone to basically get this message and get it to someone that is honest and is genuine, that's got a big channel and can reach loads of people. Check this vid, listen to that, expose all this crap, get it out to loads of people. Please, can someone listening help with that? Please. Please?
We're just the little guys. We don't have lots of subs and we don't have lots of attention.
Yeah,
what we do have is the truth, and we'd really like to reach out and see if there's any juggernauts out there that actually are genuine content producers that don't want to dance around and just leave little breadcrumbs. I want to see if any of these major content producers are for real, because right now you guys look fake as shit, and I'm tired of that.
Please, everyone, chip in and help just by sharing and dropping links and sending links to the right people that they're already on the way there. They might accept it. They've got a platform that they're reaching people from. My channels get blocked, so I can't message people and stuff. So the censorship and the control mechanisms that they've got from all this controlling the opposition, and I'm really struggling to Facebook block me every 30 days, and I feel like I'm sending messages on YouTube and people just aren't getting them unless it's on my channel and stuff. Just be aware of all this, that you've got 600 flat earth channels all having a big party keeping you locked in flat earth, and one guy there showing you truth but making these claims that keeps loads of people in fear of it or ridiculing it. It's keeping people away from it. Just understand that like there's a big battle. You think, oh yeah, well I've realised it, so it's over. No, no, no. The rest of the world needs to realise it. All the truthers in the community need to suss certain stuff. We need to counteract it somehow. It needs to be concave channels. Don't matter if you haven't got any CGI to put with it. Just talk it. Just put it in the title. Just get it out. Man, it's like there's a war going on against the
There's
elite.
genuine flat earthers out there that honestly believe the earth is flat right now. And so a lot of the things I just said aren't for you. For you genuine people out there that genuinely believe the earth is flat, like I did for several years.
I did.
And yeah, then this is your splash of cold water in the face saying, hey, you got to research concave cellular earth. It's time. If you really care about reaching people and you really care about waking people up from this heliocentric deception, then I urge you to limit the amount of time that you're spreading false information. Because I've spread lots of information, flat earth information, that may have woken some people up, and that still might be fruitful seed. That, flat earth is a stepping stone. But I'm telling you, you guys got to keep researching after flat earth. There's more. You guys saw that movie, The Giver, right? With Jonah, and he was the receiver of memory, right? And he came back to his community and said, guys, there's more. You guys got to check this shit out, And then, sure as shit, they took Gabriel, which is my son, who's gone right now. My Gabriel is missing. So this is Jonas telling you there's more.
Right. Well, I've done it. I've done it all. I've tried for a couple of years telling people that it's flat and dome type thing. We think North Pole's at centre and Antarctica goes around edge and this dome. I've tried doing that. I know what the result is. And now I've been a concaver a while and I go straight to the inverted, it's concave, I know that it just sinks in with people and they can actually accept it and understand it straight away. It's as simple as this. The water curve and that little slight curve of 8 inches per square mile goes the other way. We're on the inside. It's as simple as that. But this main thing is that what I'm trying to get across to everyone is that they're using flat to keep it so that all the truthers and all the world don't wake up to concave. It's being used in like a couple of ways. Like you might look at it differently. Like, well, it's just there, or it's attracting people to it or to concave. Not if they can control them both and they can outnumber it.
Yeah.
So
just another layer protecting the truth, like Neil Armstrong.
All I'm saying is you're welcomed into the flat earth and it's all over YouTube. But if you try with your concave channel, you might start getting harassed. You step on their toes a little bit when you come to concave and you start talking about it. They don't want you to know the truth. They want you to be a flat earth idiot.
They want you to be another pawn in their game.
Like that's what it is. I was one. I didn't know, and it is a halfway there. It's like it's halfway. So it's better to be a flat earther than a glowbed, yeah. But we're truthers, try to get to truth, and we try to change the game. You can't do that with flat earth. It's not the truth to be bringing people to, because it's not the truth and there's no model that works for it. No one's ever going to accept it.
Right. It's a long race, and just because you completed one lap doesn't mean you're done. You got to do another lap, and you got to keep,
You can make someone a concaver in a day if you give them all the right info. Flat Earth, it's something that you just ponder over.
If you're already a flat earther, concave should be a breeze. It should. I mean, you take all the knowledge you have about the NASA deception, and with the Freemasons, and all these different operation this and operation that and operation this and operation that. When you put it all together and realize, oh, okay, This is why flat earthers can't explain the stars. This is why flat earthers can't explain the eclipses. This is why flat earthers can't explain the sun path. This is why flat earthers can't conclusively debunk all the flight routes. This is why flat earthers can't this and can't that and can't this and can't that. This is why.
Yeah, it's like, it's this simple, guys. A couple of thousand years ago, they figured out how to make people think there's no God. And the way to do it is to make the earth just a random ball, put us on the outside, hide where God is at the center, and hide God, put us on the outside.
They made us all outcasts.
And
Yeah.
we've been given an inverted model that they put in place cleverly. Even though they already had it sorted, they just get someone to make out like they've just figured it up this year, this century, present it in their name. This stuff's been going all along through history. Like, you've had something misrepresented in the name of someone who's been presented as a good guy who's a bad guy. There's some mad agenda that you've been given like a false sense about. And for anyone listening to this that haven't checked any of my other videos where I'm trying to expose like the demonic industrial revolution and all the demon magicians out there, but you want to check a video that's floating about called the John D information. It's only 10 minutes long. I'd say it's be the most like needed life-changing film that anyone could watch to make them appreciate what transhumanism actually is and what we're actually up against, what's going on. Because a lot of people have got a lot of knowledge about CERN and things like that, or a bit of knowledge or a bit of concern, but you're not really seeing where it's coming from and what it is and what they're doing. So if you just watch the John D information that's on my channel titled like that, it's a little section of a video called The Destruction of Atlantis by Michael Tsarian. But John D information, watch it, people. 10 minutes that'll, you need that information. You could watch it as a glowhead, as a flat earther, as a concaver. Think about the difference. Think about what it means or whatever. I mean, that subject's not really brought up, but think about the difference if applied. All along, we've been given false stories while they have agendas to tend to. So they have to make things look good that aren't. They have to draw us in to wicked things. So things get misrepresented and there's just tons of lies. So yeah, just watch that video anyway.
Cool. So is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we wrap this up, or?
I think we've like got it all. I think we've got it all. All I can stress is
Love. I love you all.
Yeah,
That's
I love you all.
I know a lot of you guys are lying assholes, and I'm still gonna love you.
I love you.
You guys are just shills, and you're just a psyop and all this stuff, and some of you are genuine, and some of you aren't there yet. And for whatever your situation is, even if you're the Antichrist, I love you.
Yeah, Lord Stephen.
Above anything else, the most important thing is love, because that's the only thing that's going to win this war. And yes, we can still be tenacious, honest soldiers for God and still show love.
Yeah, totally.
You don't have to be a pussy to show love. You don't. You can be a man and not be a fucking coward and still know how to love people. In fact, you can't be a man unless you know how to love people.
Totally. Well, the way that my thoughts on love straight away is that, like, Jesus is the one that, like, if you wanted to do a course on love, I'm sure some Nazi will tell you that he knows how to do it best, some psychologist, but it's Jesus that'll teach you how to love, how to love everybody. And I haven't talked about Jesus much in this or at all, but The truth is Jesus. Jesus is the truth. If you're fighting for the truth, and like Mark Passio's putting it, your service to truth. Do you know what I'm saying, bro?
I do. Yeah, I have a lot of respect
I
from.
love Jesus. I'm trying to fight the best way I can. It's like we didn't evolve. That's a lie. The Darwins, you know, Charles and his grandfather Erasmus did the most work. So we don't hear much about his dad. We hear about him and his granddad. His dad must have been a bit of a couldn't be bothered with evil plan and that, but we're being deceived. We've been deceived about cosmology, and that's pretty much to hide God and the evolution thing, to legitimize some evolution lie.
That's why there's so many theories still in flat Earth, is because we've got all kinds of theories about CERN, and we've got all kinds of theories about the contrails, and we've got all kinds of theories about the chemtrails, and we have all kinds of theories about um, the sprites, and we have all kinds of theories about the volcanoes, and we have all kinds of theories about the large trees, and we have all kinds of theories about the giants, and we have all kinds of theories about all these different CERN, and we have HARP and the 5G and the Gwen towers, and what else is there? Oh, the compressed air engines and the altitude of these planes, and some of them don't look like real planes; they look like fake planes or projections or whatever. The blue screen sky, all the masking that they're doing with the geoengineering. We've got these like square shaped clouds and stuff. We got the water surface air coolers that are just making clouds right up out of the earth. We've got all these different theories about stuff, and a lot of answers would be brought to light, and there'd be less theories if we actually all had the real cosmology. A lot of these theories that we have are being introduced by NASA or by Uncle Sam or by the elite. We have all these theories that exist to hide the concave Earth. I just want a lot of you people to understand that. That's the reason why we have all these other issues inside flat Earth, is because flat Earth isn't true.
Yeah.
And if you understand things from the concave Earth, you're like, oh, well, I guess that answers that. Oh yeah, I guess that answers that. Oh, that makes sense now. Oh yeah, okay, that's good. Once you have the true cosmos, or something a lot closer to the truth. I don't know that. Let's just use LSC example, because let's just be honest. He's got the most information right now. As far as concave Earth, he's the go-to guy for the science.
Yeah.
So if we take that model that he presents, I don't know that that model is 100% true. His model is a completely enclosed Earth with no holes at the poles. And so I don't know if there are holes at the poles or not, because I've never been to either pole. But what I'm saying is his model is definitely very close to the truth. Whether there's holes at the poles or not, we live within the concavity of our Earth that's given to us by God, the Father, who's up there in the sky, on the other side of the firmament, where the sun is inside of. So a lot of you'll quickly you will fast track yourself to becoming a much more well-rounded, knowledgeable person simply by plugging in the correct cosmology. You'll have answers on a lot of those other things. Do I have all the answers of those things as a concave earther? No. But I realized, okay, like for example, the sun simulators. What's all this talk about the sun simulators, right?
Yeah.
The sun simulators, they could be having those suns. They could be real, and they could be doing the fake this footage and to fake this sun path, or whatever they're doing with these sun simulators. Or whether they're just there could be there could be about free energy, or there could be all kinds of different things that they're doing with these sun simulators. But one thing I don't hear any flat earthers talking about is the proximity of the firmament and the actual sun paths and how they don't make any sense, and the eclipses. And why won't flat earthers address these things that they don't have answers for? If these flat earth proponents, these large juggernauts that have all kinds of they know how to do the video editing, and they can make really nice videos with all kinds of graphic, they can really make some quality videos. Why aren't these guys addressing the issues that flat Earth fails at? Why is that? There's got to be a reason why these very capable people that have lots and lots of subs are ignoring certain aspects of our cosmology. And if that's not a red flag, if you're calling yourself someone who really cares about the truth, then how can you ignore what I'm after hearing this whole message that Sam and I have been giving you, you now have absolutely no choice but to look into what we're saying. Or just outright admit that you're dogmatic and you don't want to have any part in reality. Because it's come to that right now. At this point, if you've listened to this whole message, you are at that moment right now. Now flat Earth is the blue pill and concave is the red pill. And so even if I keep seeking after concave, maybe concave will turn into a blue pill and there'll be another truth that I have to uncover that'll be, and I'll have to accept that truth, that as well. There's going to be more than one red pill to take, folks. You got to keep taking red pills if you want to keep seeking towards truth. If you're just going to swallow one red pill and act like you're a fucking know-it-all, you're fucked. Because that's exactly what I did, and I was fucked. But I repented from that foolishness, and I'm just going to keep eating red pills, and I'm going to keep shitting them out.
I want to
I suggest you do the same thing because we're not getting any younger, and our children matter.
Totally. And they're being destroyed by 5G.
They're being destroyed by everything. The television, the school, society, the food, the vaccines, you name it. Children are being destroyed. The court system, the criminal justice system, with our laws, mankind's laws suck. When are flat earthers going to realize that following mankind's laws is stupid? How can you truly be woke and at the same time you're still arguing in favor of mankind's laws? Really? You're a biblical cosmologist and you're still arguing in favor of mankind's laws? You gotta be kidding me. If you haven't realized that mankind does not have the ability to write its own laws, then you have more red pills to take. And if you're going to sit there and get drunk and then tell me that I smoke too much pot, well, you can just sit down and shut the fuck up because you're an idiot. If you're going to sit there and drink all fucking day and drink away your life, tell me I'm smoking too much pot.
Another good point.
Get bent. That's what I'm going to tell you is get bent because you need it.
But anybody listening that's grasping it all and gets it, but isn't a Christian, I'm going to just say this for everyone that's not really got Jesus and got a Christian. The truth community is like totally fractured, but like Jesus is the truth, and the truthers are fighting for Jesus. So if you're a truther but you haven't got Jesus, you're kind of running around like try to help, like that you just don't have a clue what you're doing, but you might be being drawn towards him or not. I don't know how stubborn you are or what's going on with you, but if you're a truther, like accept Jesus, and it's all like Team Jesus. But what's going on is that for the last couple of thousands of years, the powers that be of each generation have been dumbing us down bit by bit. Social engineering's been going on like all along. So 500 years ago, they began to create atheists. That's with the hiding the creation, telling people that it wasn't there, and telling people, that God's not in the center. Basically, giving people this random model. They've created atheists. Nowadays you've got the term like New Agers, atheist New Agers. It's a lot of Buddhist philosophy that a lot of you New Agers, New Atheists, you're like Buddhists, but you don't know it, and it's a false religion. Well, I just want to state this, that while you're all busy being atheists and New Agers and Buddhists and feminists and all this crazy stuff, whether you're a truther or not, but it'll only be truthers listening to this, you know what I mean? While you're busy doing all that and you're not helping the team that knows what it's doing, and it's the team, it's the good team, Jesus' team, and it's Jesus' truth that you're trying to find, that you're trying to get to. So while this splintered, all the atheists, New Agers, Buddhists, people of your own opinions and your false realities and your crap that you believe, instead of just believing Jesus and accepting that he's the truth and he's the authority. While you're busy doing all that crazy stuff, Islam's coming and it's united and it's coming, it wants to chop your head off. And this Lord Stephen Christ thing's like threatening that basically it seems like if Concave Earth explodes and gets big, he has to lead the way and start chopping everyone's heads off about it. It's just the way it sort of comes across to word it like that, if you know what I mean. So we've got like a concave truth jihad threat. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that we've got a lot of people running around that haven't really got a clue about what Islam is. Now, Islam wants to get rid of Christians, okay? That have a clue. And you atheists and Buddhists and New Agers and stuff, you're gonna end up like Luciferian mugs, or you're gonna just get destroyed as well. Islam's there and jihad's there to destroy like the truth and get rid of Christianity, and they can only do that by getting rid of like everyone else as well. So the best way we can fight as like a world of people is to fight Islam and the elite and Islam. That's like the government of the world, the police force. So this is what we're up against.
This rap shit is mine, motherfuckers. A fucking game. Fuck what you heard. It's what you hearing. It's what you hearing. Listen. It's what you hearing. Listen. It's what you hearing. Listen. X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you.
Jihad. We've got the New World Order that want to depopulate, chip us, whatever. You've got Bible prophecies that you don't know was written, but they've been written and they're being followed. It's happening. All this crazy stuff, and collectively we help or collectively we don't, and everyone listening to this, and myself included, we can all keep doing our bit, but unless we like really do our bit and put that urgency in other people to this is real, it's important, and get it onto you pass it on to everyone, we're all just wasting our time as truthers. We're all just we're curious, we want to know, so we watch some YouTube videos. Do you want to change the game? Do you want the rest of the world to know? Do you want the evil stuff to stop? Do you want the wheel of evil to stop turning? Or what? If you do, well, just do your bit. I'm doing mine. Josh is doing his. Oh, maybe we can't change the game, but you can bring people to the truth. It's a spiritual war as well.
We're going to walk the path until we die. That's all that matters.
Don't worry about the result or the consequence. Have no fear, and just get telling everyone and sharing the right links, the proofs of Concave Earth, the explanations of what's going on. That's all I'll say.
Cool. So, yeah, I don't have too much more to add. So, yeah, we'll continue this hangout after I end the live broadcast. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and feel free to give me a call. My number is 603-318-5941. You can leave a voicemail, or you can come to my house here at 47 Temple Street in Nashua, New Hampshire, or you can send me an email at joshboliero@rocketmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Joshua James Boliero, or you could use this YouTube channel as a resource. Or you could use my Flatpool channel as a resource. Sam's got a couple of YouTube channels. He's got a Facebook account that's blocked right now, but he's got a big group. What you said, 70,000, right? So the information is available, and there's really no excuse left anymore. So I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to your feedback. Your constructive criticism. Sure, if you have questions, you can probably answer those yourself. You probably don't need me for that. You don't need me to teach you. What you need is me to splash some concave water in your face. So I love you guys, and with that, we'll say till next time, love conquers all.
Bye-bye.